invite sent your way. There it goes.
Okay, there.
Can you hear me, Sam? There
I
you go.
can.
It must be my internet because it just
No, that's
disconnected the
okay.
Wi-Fi. I'm on LTE, should work now. If we
Okay.
do get disconnected, I apologize again. Maybe we might have to reschedule for another time, but we're gonna try to give it our best right now for that. I apologize that the
Oh, wait.
internet is not the best at this moment. Very good.
Okay.
Well, so Sam, just to get us going a little
That's
bit,
okay.
so tell me a little bit, how do you get started with FFL? How long have you been with Family First Life? Where are you located? I know that you're an agency owner, and tell me a little bit about your agency, how it was about setting up your opening your office and that kind of stuff. That's what I would like to learn from you today. I would love for you to like share this with the people watching us, so they can see how a person who's fairly new with FFL can get started. So let's see what we can learn from Samantha Brook today. Off you go.
Okay. So I started with FFL December 1st was my first day, my first style day. One of my friends, Evan Melcher, introduced me to it. He's my best friend's boyfriend's brother. And so he kind of introduced us both to it at the same time. And then I was in healthcare before this and I was just really burnt out. And so I basically didn't really have much to lose. So I was just like, okay, I'll try it out. If I don't like it, I won't do it. Um, but then I sold my first policy and I liked it. So haven't looked back since. So I live in Minneapolis and oh, can you hear me?
I can hear
Okay.
you
Oh,
now.
okay.
I lost you. I lost you after
Okay.
you said I live in Minneapolis, and then after
Okay.
that I lost you. So, but I was just waiting
Okay.
for us to come back. There you go.
So beginning of October, I had a grand opening here for our office. And yeah, it's super exciting. We're really trying to just grow this thing and get, more people and just share this opportunity. So last month in September, we did just a little over 300,000 as an agency. But yeah,
Congratulations.
it's kind of the basic overview. Thank you.
That is fantastic. So, just recapping a little bit, you started December of 2020,
Yeah.
and by October you opened your own office. Your team is issue paying over $300,000 a month
Hmm.
in less than a year,
Yeah.
and you had zero background in insurance prior to doing this. You say you were working in healthcare before this, right?
Yep. Yep. I wanted to be a physician assistant, had no desire to do insurance, nothing like that at all.
You
Yeah.
you were not that kid that was like looking up to be an insurance agent when they grew up,
No,
no?
not at all.
I haven't run into that person yet, but I think that we're gonna change that very quickly with Family First Life. But that is remarkable, Samantha. I know that I've seen multiple of your videos on YouTube and on different platforms, on talks that you've had with different agents, and it is amazing just to see the story repeat time and time and time again. And it's not always the same faces. It's people who are coming into the industry, like myself as well, we come from something completely different. We're giving it a shot. We're like, I don't know. You told me just now. I'm gonna try it. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, I can go do something else. Myself, I gave myself 90 days to try it, to go all in 90 days. If after 90 days I could like take a look at it, do an analysis, a review, and if it worked out or not, and then realizing that in 90 days I made as much money as I made in 1 year on my previous job, I was like, yeah, maybe this is the go-to for sure. But yeah, that's why we're here. So tell me a little bit about why you chose to open an office. What was the process like? Um, do you have to follow any guidelines or any steps to get like, I don't know, materials at the office, like marketing wise, from FFL, from Integrity? How was that process?
Um, yeah, so technically I had an office. I got like a little tiny office in February, and so that okay.
There you go. So yeah, I'm sorry, I
So,
apologize. Clearly
no,
the
that's
Wi-Fi is
okay.
not good. Now you mentioned that you had a little office back in February, and then what happened?
And then we just outgrew it. It was just a very small space. And so I wanted to have this office here because it's just so important to have that community and that atmosphere. And it's so much more fun to come in on dial days when the room in the office space is filled and there's a lot more people instead of just you dialing at your kitchen table at home. And so I just wanted to do that because I wanted, to help, just connect and have that community here because there isn't that in Minnesota yet. And so I wanted to kind of help get that going. Yeah, and so it's been, there's ups and downs with everything, but it's so nice to have that office and, we're slowly getting there, but filling it up. And yeah, I'm excited. But
That is great.
mhm.
That is great. And I'm sure, I believe you had Sean come in to help you with the grand
Mhm.
opening as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. There was a lot of people here, so it was really great. Um, yeah, it's really cool.
Wow. I bet that you probably look back and you do a bit of a review about how far you've gone so far in less than a year and you pinch yourself about like, wow, have I
Hmm.
really done this stuff, right? But
Yeah.
what has been the most fulfilling thing that you have achieved so far within this past, yeah, 11 months?
I feel like honestly all of it kind of together, just like being a business owner, I guess, in that sense, like it's just crazy to think about just being like, a 24-year-old, a female, and like not having any experience in all this stuff. Like it is pretty cool to think like you can come and join FFL and do all of that and just like make a like not just like a career and like income now, but like a sustainable long-term um I don't know, just like a crazy impact both on agents' lives and the families you're helping. It's just I don't know, the whole thing is just kind of cool in itself altogether. But yeah, I
That,
mean it's just an awesome space for everything like that.
that is fantastic. So you mentioned of course supporting clients, and I bet and I know that you are super excited. You're always posting all over social media when you're helping a client and photos with them and so on. Have you had a death claim already or not yet?
I haven't actually.
You haven't? Me neither. I
Mm-mm.
haven't had one
Yeah.
yet either. But I know there it's gonna happen because that's
Mm-hmm.
why we're in business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do you think that you're gonna react the day that it happens? I don't know. Tell me how you think
Oh,
you'll feel. We got connected. Sorry.
okay, you got me. Um,
You're back. You're back. There you go.
I think when it happens, it'll just be so much more real. I know even just using other agents that I work with that have had death claims, like hearing their experience and just all that stuff. Like I use that when I go into appointments because one of my friends, she had a death claim and well, I guess not, the client died. It was 2 days before the effective date of their policy. And so now, like, yeah, so now I always will say that in an appointment if someone's like, hey, I need to push it out a ton, like I need to push it out the full 30 days or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like I'll use her story to be like, hey, we're actually going to put it in effect today because this is what could happen. Um, so just, I
Wow.
think it'll just make it a lot more real. Um, I'm actually surprised I haven't had one already.
Yeah,
But
you probably have over 100 clients by now.
yeah,
Easy.
yeah, I guess I don't know, honestly, but but yeah. So I think
Wow.
it'll just make it a lot more real. And just yeah, I don't know. It'll help me be able to like push more in the home, I think, too.
I think you're 100% correct with that, and I think the exact same way once that happens, it's gonna be something I'll definitely carry on with me, not only on every appointment, but also on dial days, just to like pushed me a little bit extra to
Mhm.
like show how important it is. So you mentioned that today's Thursday. Today was dial day. How was your
Mhm.
dial day today, Sam? You had a good dial day?
Good. I wanted more appointments. I ended with 16, but I'm gonna dial more. I have tomorrow morning open just for like 2 hours, so I'm gonna dial more to fill up the rest of my Saturday and probably Sunday.
That is
'Cause
great. You're knocking on the door of Hall of Fame, right?
yes, I wanted to be there sooner, but I was sick the past like I was sick for 2 weeks, so it kind of put me a bit behind. But hopefully, I think I'm 50K away from it now, a little under. So
You absolutely got this.
so we're almost there.
Just have a weekend like Michael Herman, and you
Yeah,
should be just
no,
fine.
I literally do not get that, but
No, you'll get there. Absolutely. I think that it's if one person can do it, we can replicate that time and
hmm
time again. And the
hmm
best part, I think I always repeat this in our calls, is that I find it amazing how people are so willing to help. There we go. I know. Sorry, this one has been
Okay,
a
there
bit
you go.
rough. There we go. Yeah, no, I think that that's one of
No,
the
it's
best things
okay.
that the culture about here, how people like help each other out, even though we're not on the same, let's say, under the same hierarchy, or it doesn't. Yeah, we don't work directly. We're not in the same office. We're in different areas in the country. I'm in a different country right now. Let's put it that way, and people are just willing to help out. So I appreciate you sharing that, Sam. So tell me a little bit about how do you challenge your team to improve? How do you challenge them since like you got to the 300,000 as a team over the last month, but how do you challenge them to continue improving on a monthly basis?
Um, like like individual agents, are you saying?
Yeah, your
Or
team
yeah,
in general.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's a good question. I think a lot of it is just like setting the standard of just running even just, 30 appointments a week, just having that set so when agents come on and start, even though, their first dial day, whatever, they might only book, 7 or 8 or whatever that is their first day, but knowing that, hey, the end goal is we need to be booking 30 appointments and shooting for, ideally if they want to go full time and everything, but like consistently, 10K a week submitting or something, and just kind of setting that standard so that when people join, that's basically the expectation they have. And just, I was always taught to just focus on your next 30, 40K producer. So for me, when we get, new people coming on, I'm always looking at, okay, who's going to be the next one that's going to, step up and want to go, do Hall of Fame and be doing that, 30, 40 a month, or 50, whatever it is. So I think just like leading from the front really helps
Yep.
that way. And that's how, for me being with, my friend Kiefer, like she's sells a lot of insurance. She runs a lot of appointments, and same with Evan. And so like that was the standard for me when I start, and Michael does the same thing. And so it's just, I think being in that atmosphere pushes your team to do more because that's what the standard is.
You're showing they can be replicated, that you can replicate the process.
Yeah.
That's great. So, so what I think I remember both you and Kiefer were at the conference in. All right.
Yep.
So there you
Yep.
go. So yeah. So I think I remember seeing you guys. We didn't get to meet each other, but I remember watching Evan training, and how he would go directly into like sitting down with a client and right away starting writing right into the application. As he was
Mhm.
asking the medical question, he was already in the application. I found it like my mind blowing how quickly he would go into the process and how he presented it himself. And then I realized, okay, I see Kiefer and Samantha under him, and then clearly months later, you guys blew up right away. And his repetition is being, as you mentioned, under people like Evan, who is your friend, who also brought you into the business, but he's sharing his know-how Um, that was very interesting to watch because his training was very different from other people's trainings that on that particular conference I remember. It's definitely one of those that stood out to me. Um, it's kind of like he was more transactional than actually building report. If I don't know if that sounds about right.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I would say that.
very good. I love to build rapport. I love to chat
Me
with the
too.
people, get to know the family. Like I am like, okay, where's the grandma? Let's have a conversation, have a cafecito, like have a good time, Uh, and I think it's great. I think that's that there's not one way for everyone, like that everyone has to follow. But as you mentioned, you're challenging your team by giving them structure and giving them clear goals about, hey, 30 appointments, these 10K a week, 40K a month, whatever, right? So tell me in about the 30 appointments a week, why 30 appointments are important.
Well, I mean, FFL just preaches 30 appointments. So, but I think it's kind of to go with the effect that, okay, you're going to get no shows, you're going to get no sales, and you have to, you know, count all that stuff in. Because, I mean, there have been days where maybe I had a rough dial day or whatever it is, and I've only booked 4 appointments or 5 appointments that day instead of, the typical eight.
Yep.
So let's say I have 4 appointments. Okay, well, two no sales, one no show, and then I don't know, just another bad sit or porch or whatever it is. And so it's just putting the numbers more in your favor. It's like the same as dialing. The more leads you have, the more appointments you're going to book. So the more appointments you have, the more you're going to close, the more families you're going to help. Um,
Is it hard to get to 30 appointments? How many leads do
I
you
don't
think you
think
need to have per dial day, or on average, how many times people are calling in order to get to 30 appointments?
I don't think it's hard to get to personally 30 appointments a week. I know I personally am better on the phones than in appointments. So I just think as long as you have enough leads, you're fine. So for me, if I'm doing all internet, I would like, 100, 120 leads in front of me. I never do all straight internet. Like I like to have, mail. And so if either I'm just doing mail or mix in whatever it is. But I mean, I think as long as you're dialing the phones enough and you're watching training and everything, it might take you a bit longer to get to that consistent 30 appointments. And I know even just the other day, I was struggling to get there myself, and I was here till I think like 7:30, and I only ended with like 14, and I just knew I had a door knock the next day. But it happens, but as long as you're just keep listening to training stuff and having enough leads, I think you're fine.
Excellent. Do you have any trainings from the top of your head that you think this training is something I watch often, or a training that I recommend my new agents to go and watch, especially when they're new and they're trying to get better on the phones? Do you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one I always send, and it helped me a ton, was it's called Rapid Fire Objections, and it's Matt Smith and Paul McLean.
Paul McLean.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. It
That one
helps
is
me.
great.
Yeah, I usually, yeah, I took a lot of notes on that stuff. And what I used to do is I would have a list of objections next to me when I was dialing, and then like, what the response should be. So then it just helped me, be quick about it and everything.
Oh, I already took care of it.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you want me to do it? I know. I just say,
I'm putting you on
I
the
just
spot,
say,
Sam. Yeah.
I just say perfect. That's why I'm calling. Especially if I don't, for a lot of things like that, yeah, I just kind of do perfect. That's
Perfect.
why
That's
I'm
the
calling.
reason for my call.
Yeah. And you
That's
just keep going.
Matt Smith 101
Yeah.
for
Perfect.
sure. Perfect. That's the reason for my call. They're like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Oh, yeah. So yeah, they have me there tomorrow. It'll be 5 minutes. Are you still at this address?
You just
Sure.
get
Okay.
to,
Bye.
then it's like, okay, see you then. Bye.
Yeah, those quick sets are, yeah, they can be a hit or miss, usually a miss.
Yeah.
Uh, so very good. So you told me how you challenge your team, which is great. How do you challenge yourself, Samantha? How do you challenge yourself to get to that 400K Hall of Fame? how do you challenge yourself to even go above that? Because of course you're gonna definitely pass the 400K for the year, and I know that you probably have learned a lot throughout the year, and next year you're gonna. There you go. How do you challenge yourself, Sam? Off you go.
Okay, so I would say how I challenge myself. Um, I feel like the first thing that comes to mind is just who I surround myself with. So if we're talking just about FFL, like I know my best friend Kiefer, she hit Hall of Fame like I think a month ago, and she
Yep.
started, yeah. And so just surrounding myself with people who are constantly wanting to be better and pushing themselves to that higher standard, I think that's huge. Like just being around Michael, like he's, selling, obviously selling a bunch of insurance, but just has that mentality of just wanting to help families and grow this thing and all that stuff. And same with Kiefer as well. And then, Evelyn here is at the Minneapolis office with me too. So just having that environment of surrounding yourself with people who are constantly pushing you to be better.
Right.
I think that is just like the biggest, and I don't know.
No,
I think
that
that, I
is
guess.
that is great. That's very good advice. Funny enough, like if we go back to the last couple of episodes when I asked that question, no one says to surround. I challenge myself by surrounding myself around people who are better than me, and that is a very good thing to challenge yourself, because usually that's how you will always continue growing. If you just remain in the same place with the same people that are non motivated or so,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be very complicated to even grow. And you know that you're smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good advice. Thank you for
And
sharing
I
that, Samantha.
and I know even just from like an insurance standpoint, both, Kiefer and Michael are a lot better at selling insurance than me. And so for me, there's so many times where I just call them still to this day and I'm like, hey, well, what should I have done in this appointment? Or, whatever it is, because it's like, hey, if they're better at me than something, why it would be stupid to not
To
go
not
to them
ask.
and learn. Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. All right. And how do you challenge your clients? How do you challenge your
Yeah.
clients? Because you told me I'm not that good at there. I'm better on the phones. So this is a good question. How do you challenge your clients these days to like make sure that when they start hesitating, when they have to think about it, how do you challenge them to make sure that they understand the importance of what they already requested, and what you're there for, and why they're getting it.
It's a good question because I am not good at this. um, I don't know. I would say, I think I just, because I'm not, sometimes for me, I'm nervous. I don't know, but I mean, I think for me, the first thing that kind of comes to my mind is I just bring back and go back to the why that we talked about and basically say, okay, you just told me X, Y, and Z. So now when you're saying you need to think about it, what do we need to think about? Because you just told me your wife would lose the home if you died, or wouldn't be able to pay the bills, wouldn't be able to afford the funeral, all that stuff. So is there something that I'm missing, or what do we need to think about? Is it the price? Is it me? What is it there? That's really, I feel like the only way I really challenge my clients. That's something I'm actually trying to work on. So,
No, I love the honesty, and I think that's great, because we all been at that point sometime. And I ask every single person that I meet with, how do you challenge your team? How do you challenge yourself? How do you challenge your clients? Because every person has something different to go. And then what you just mentioned, you are hitting on something that Easton pattern goes time and time and time again. Focus on the why. If you dig deep on the why, you can like get that feeling, understand like, okay, so I understand that. So you if you align with them, not just by I'm basically repeating what you just said, right? If you align with them about what the issue is, what the why is, like, hey, my wife will not be able to pay off the house. They'll be homeless.
Hello.
I'm so sorry.
No,
Thank
you're
you.
fine.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you so much for
You're fine.
rejoining. Clearly, I ran out of data, international data, and I had to click yes on a text message to get more data
Oh
on my
no.
allowance. So now I'm good. I'm golden now. You shouldn't get disconnected now. So, so what I'm going back to is we're talking about how we're challenging clients, and then how you mentioned about always going back to the why. So a trick that I learned along the way that I want to share with you, since it's something that you're
Mhm.
mentioning that is an area that you sometimes could possibly struggle,
Mhm.
is that, for example, when when you ask the person, so why did you fill this out? And they tell you, oh well, because I see that we have nothing in place, and if something were to happen, my wife won't be able, whatever the why is there coming in, right? My wife won't be able to pay the home. Okay, I understand. So Samantha, so what you're telling me is that you have nothing in place, and if something were to happen to you, your wife will lose a home. Is that right? And I make you agree because I show you that I listen to you telling
Mhm.
me what the
Mhm.
issue is. I'm repeating the issue back to
Yeah.
yourself, and I'm gaining agreement with the client on what the issue is. When they
Mhm.
say yes, they're basically saying, making sure that you understood that right. Because if they say, no, that's not the issue. Actually, I should be able to pay whatever. Okay, I understand that. So you should have a little bit, you repeat it again to them. Think about it like ordering, I don't know, a coffee at Starbucks, and they repeat the order back to you before they place it.
Mhm. That's
Because
good.
they want to make sure they don't want to make the wrong coffee for you, right?
Mhm.
So, um, there we go. Can you hear? Oh, can you hear me now, Sam?
Yep. No,
Yeah,
I
perfect. Thank
gotcha.
you. Excellent. So
Mhm.
by following up with after you gain agreement on what the issue is, you basically have to explain that you're the expert, and you at that point in time you tell them, perfect, I'm gonna help you find the solution to your issue so your wife doesn't lose this. That sounds right? Perfect. Okay, well my job is gonna find something that fits your needs, that fits your budget, and something you're comfortable with. Does that sound fair? And then they tell you yes. So at this point in time, they already agreed there's an issue twice.
Mhm.
They told you, and then you repeat it to them. They already say that yes, right, twice. And then on top of that, you're telling them they understood, and then you're going to help them out because you have what they don't have in order to help them. If they could
Mhm.
help them, if they could fix it on their own, they will do it on their own. Otherwise, they wouldn't have filled out a form, right? That's the reason why they request our help, because they cannot do it on their own. They don't have a license to do it. That's why you're there. So when you set the standard that way, and then you continue throughout the appointment, then if they get a bit tough about the stuff, it's possibly most likely is the price, right?
Mhm.
Maybe we're overestimating. Like you mentioned that this was your budget. Let's go back to your budget. Was this right? Is there any more money, or is there not that much money left? Oh, I apologize because this is what I understood based on what you told me. I'm trying to make
Mhm.
something that makes sense to you.
Mhm.
Like I don't, it doesn't help me. It doesn't help you if we put something that makes no sense for you, right? So
Mhm.
then they understand that you're there for them, and it's a
That's
game
good.
changer. It's a game changer.
Mhm.
So so definitely something to like keep in mind. Gaining agreement on the issue and tell them that you're going to help them resolve. It helps a lot. So very good. So last challenges for you for the day, and we're done because of course we've been all over with these connectivity issues. How's your Spanish, Samantha?
Oh, it's good.
It's good. Okay, here we go. Let's
No,
see.
it's
It's
not.
bueno. Okay, so we have a phrase that I ask everyone to repeat, see if they see
Okay.
how they do it, and it says si no es ahora, si no es ahora,
Si no es ahora,
cuando
¿cuándo?
desafía este momento,
Say the last part again.
desafía este momento,
Desafía este, what are you saying? Momento?
este
Este
momento.
momento.
Very good. Si no es ahora, ¿cuándo desafía este momento?
So long. Okay.
I know.
Okay, say it one more time.
Si no es ahora, ¿cuándo desafía este momento?
Okay. See no. Oh, I already forgot it. See, okay, one more time. One more time.
Si no es ahora, ¿cuándo?
Okay.
1 second.
Okay.
There we go. Si no es ahora, ¿cuándo? Desafía este momento. You're good, Sam. I'm not gonna push you. You're good. You're good. You said it. So basically means if not now, when? Challenge this moment. So it's about like how we challenge ourselves every moment that we face throughout the day. Like from the moment we wake up to the moment that we go to the office, when we're on the phone, on that phone call, how we react, how we challenge ourselves to be better. And the whole purpose of these episodes are to like bring different people who challenge themselves and challenge their people and their clients in different ways to learn from each other how we can continue to learn how to challenge ourselves to improve. And I want to thank you so much. First of all, because of the connectivity was so poor, we're gonna have to do this again, but at some other time in a better setup. But I want to say thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
all the information, the knowledge. I hope you had a good time, even though it was a bit
I did.
frustrating with the disconnecting. And then you do have one last challenge. You have to pick one person that's gonna join me 2 weeks from now. Who should that person be?
Okay, I know her Spanish is good, so I'm picking Mackenzie Johnson.
Mackenzie Johnson. Yeah, okay,
Mm,
perfect. Fantastic. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna reach out to Mackenzie, and then 2 weeks from now we should learn from her. What should we learn from Mackenzie 2 weeks from now, Samantha? What do you think she's good at?
she's really good at, like, I don't know how to word it, but she really cares for people. So I think she's very like passionate about the people she's working with, and so I think just finding what keeps her going and all that stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you'll have to come and watch us
Yeah.
like talk with her, because I'm sure that she's gonna share so much about it. So thank you so much once again, Samantha.
Thank
A
you for
pleasure
having me.
to meet you, and I look forward to meeting you in person at some point. All right. You say hi
Sounds
to
good.
Michael and the
Thank
crew
you.
over there. You
I
guys have a lot
will
of
have
fun. All
fun at the
right.
wedding.
Will
Bye
do.
bye.
Time to go. All right. Bye bye. Have
Bye
a good one.
bye.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Today wasn't the best episode because of connectivity. Samantha was fantastic, but the connection was going on and off. Um, so I'm still downloading the episodes on the Instagram Live. We're going to be putting them together. And once again, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day. Have a good one.